Welcome to Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. The other day, for some reason, I got to wondering how many kids today know the birth dates of their grandparents. I seem to have known mine forever. Grandpa Johnson was August 30th, 1903. Grandma Johnson was August 7th, 1907. Grandma Mirwold was February 28th, 1885, and Grandpa Mirwold was February 18th, 1887. I decided to check it out with our own children to see if they knew the birth dates of their grandparents. Well, one knew all of them, and one knew the years and the months, except for one grandparent. I won't tell you which one didn't know all the dates, but I bet he will now. It's a rather silly connection. But it made me wonder how much we do know about people close to us. Or how do we strengthen those relationships by learning more than just what is important to us to know, but rather what might be important to them to be known by? Remember this story I told quite a few months ago about the woman riding on the train in England when she met a man chaperoning a class of students on a field trip? The man sat across from her as the train lumbered across the landscape. They exchanged kind introductions, and then he leaned in a bit and asked, "What should I know about where you come from?" She asked, "What do you mean? My home? My family? My work?" "Well, whatever you want to share," he replied. "What should I know?" That simple question gave her insight into how much more she could learn about a person by asking the kind of question that would allow them to choose to share what was important to them. I have always told my graduate students that there are two instincts we are born with. One is the ability to suck for nourishment, and the other is the need to belong for nourishment. We are often so intent on our needs that we lose focus on the needs of others. Another way we miss helping to meet another's needs is this significant word, assumption. How often have you said, "Well, I just thought they weren't interested or didn't care, etc." We often hide behind that kind of excuse because it safely keeps us from becoming vulnerable to ask or to learn. We often assume we know enough or that someone is doing just fine without sharing, or that we don't want to appear nosy, or that people would rather be private. But look beyond and see how much more someone might want to be known, to feel that they matter and belong. Just like the scene from the movie Patch Adams that I bring up over and over. In that favorite scene, Arthur holds up Patch's hands in front of his face, pushing his thumb down so only four fingers are pointing upward, and asks him how many fingers he sees. Patch replies, "Four." "No," Arthur admonishes, "look beyond the fingers. Look at me." Patch's eyes then see eight. Arthur says, "Yes, yes, eight. See what no one else sees. See what everyone else chooses not to see out of fear and conformity and laziness. See the world anew each day. Hmm. Look beyond the outside. Learn what more about a person by looking and asking. So many things we often miss out of fear or conformity or laziness. But when we do have courage, we discover a larger person who makes our world so much richer. An emergency room nurse was completing her notes for the evening when she heard her favorite doctor going over the night's cases with a young intern. They discussed what went well and what could have gone better. And then she heard the wise doctor ask the intern, "Did you see the maintenance man who came in and cleaned up our emergency room bay after each patient?" The intern looked at him blankly and said he could not remember seeing that man. "Well," the doctor continued, "his name is Carlos. He and his wife Maria came here from Mexico 5 years ago. They live 5 blocks from the hospital and have 4 children." And then he went on to give the names and ages of each of the children. "His name is Carlos," the doctor repeated. "Next week, I want you to tell me something about Carlos that I don't already know." The nurse paused with her pen in midair. This, she thought, was breathtaking leadership. On your bathroom mirror this week, put a note with the birth dates of your grandparents and then put 3 blank lines. By the end of the week, I hope you will have 3 names on the lines of those you have learned more about. By being intentional, you will be inspired. I know it. Join me next Monday for Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.